In a world where dinner is boring, your wallet's on life support, and you just don't know what to make, Broil Gourmet's got your back. Now, if you're anything like me and your wallet's always on life support, as it is in today's economy, then today's video is for you. Because we're going to be taking a couple basic ingredients, chicken and potatoes, and making something fantastic out of it. Lemon herb roasted chicken and potatoes. So let's head over to my tiny little kitchen and get started. Now today's dish packs a lot of flavor and doesn't cost much at all. So let's go see what it is that we're using. So like I said, you don't really need a lot of ingredients to get a lot of flavor. For potatoes, I'm using Yukon Gold and Red Babies. You can definitely use russet potatoes if you want. Just cut them up into 1-inch cubes and that'll be perfectly fine. I got 3 lemons. I'm probably only going to use 2, but we'll see. Some fresh garlic, onion. You want skin on, bone in chicken thighs, not breasts, chicken thighs. You want that fat, as much fat to render and all that flavor to render out of them as much as possible. Got olive oil, salt, pepper. I got parsley flakes, thyme leaves, oregano leaves, paprika, some butter for the sauce. And I happen to have a couple of cherry tomato plants out in my yard that are doing really well. So I'm going to throw some of those in there in a 2.5 quart casserole dish. All right, this is what we're doing. First thing we need to do is prep up the potatoes, get this stuff prepped up so we can get started. First things first, we need to dice up the onion, do the same thing to the garlic, cut up the potatoes, and now we're gonna throw it all in a bowl. 1 teaspoon of oregano, 1 teaspoon of thyme, a couple glugs of olive oil, get that all mixed up real good. Into a 2.5 quart baking dish, at least that's the size I'm using. I use one of the lemon zest all over. The other lemon I slice in half and then slice those halves up and just kind of stuck them in there wherever. Get them all over in there. We like a lot of lemon. This is lemon chicken. And then the last lemon I squeeze all the juice. Now, same thing for the chicken. Olive oil, oregano, thyme. This time we're using a 1/2 teaspoon of paprika. Get that mixed up. We're gonna salt and pepper it really good. All right, now we're just gonna nestle the chicken right on top, skin side up. Now remember, the skin and the bone in is really important. We want all that fat and flavor to melt down onto those potatoes. And we got the oven preheated to 425 degrees. I have these cherry tomatoes. I'm just gonna pepper them wherever they'll fit. Into the oven she goes for about 40 minutes. And we'll come check on it with a thermometer. Chicken's at 165 degrees, but there sure is a lot of liquid in there. Let's take it out real quick. All right, chicken's coming off. I want those potatoes to be a lot better looking than that. So we're gonna throw them back in the oven. I'm gonna throw the rest of these cherry tomatoes on there. And then I got the oven set to broil, so back in the oven it goes. But then I had this idea. So I took it back out of the oven, and I wanna take all that liquid out, or at least a lot of it, and I'll use that for a glaze at the end. We'll make a nice glaze out of that. That's a lot of liquid. We don't want that in there. And I'll mix it all up real good, put it back in the oven on broil, and we'll just keep an eye on it. And now for the sauce. I'm just going to use some cornstarch slurry, since this stuff has got all the flavor it's ever going to need. I want to taste it real quick. Perfect. Okay, now into a pot. The pot's already hot. I'm going to add about a tablespoon of that slurry. That was perfect. Now that it's sticking up, I want to take about a tablespoon of butter, take it off the heat, and whisk it in there. Get it melted and just whisk it in there. So that's what I'm going to do right here. That'll make it nice and creamy. And we can dish up. Look at that. These things are beautiful. I'm glad I took that liquid out. That worked out just perfect. All right, let's put some of that glaze on there. Look at that glaze. Lemon herb glaze. That is beautiful right there. I'm going to throw a little bit of parsley on top. And that, my friends, that is an inexpensive meal fit for royalty. No doubt about it. Now that is a perfect way to zest up chicken and potatoes. Now, if you enjoy the video, do me a favor, hit the like button, consider subscribing to my channel, and I will see you guys in the next one.